New Era Wrestling fans, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. I apologize for the delay. I didn't have my voice for about a month, and then when I got it back, I was a little shaky on it. But much to Methuselah's chagrin, I have my voice back, which means I get to tell you all about Season's beatings. But Methuselah, before I get into any of that, I have not forgotten about you. I have not forgotten your comment on my post. I've not forgotten any of the stuff that you have said and done in the time I've known you. And I also have not forgotten what I have been saying. It is past time for you to retire. And let me tell you something, Methuselah. I got a real good feeling about 2023. This might be the year I achieve my goal. But guys, we'll get back to Methuselah because right now, got a couple other things to discuss. I think I'm like Santa Claus, guys. I'm fat. I'm jolly. When I laugh, my belly is like a bowl full of jelly. I make a list. I check it twice, and I tell you guys who it is, who's naughty and nice. That's right, Season's Meetings. This time, it's Dr. Silver who's on the naughty list. We're going to get to that. But first, let's talk about 2022 as a whole. Guys, we had a big year. We really did. January and February, we were out, but we came back strong. In March, was smashed. Black Ops reunited. I'm sorry, Eric. I told you from the start that that was probably going to be a bad idea, but we'll get to that when we get to Season's Beatings. Jason Knoll became the longest reigning champion in New Era history. That is an honor you should all congratulate him for. In March, I named the Wrestler of the Month Delta Jr., and the match of the night was Delta Jr. and Rayo Plateado defending their tag titles against the Night Terrors, Kincaid and Junsu. Guys, if you didn't see that match, it was one hell of a match. Up next, we had April, Eye of the Storm. War Dog beat Lipto. Morales asked who was beating Damian Payne. Still old age. Lucha Dogs got beaten by the hard way. Cody Devine and Logan for the tag titles. Billy 5.2 ends Jason Knoll's streak and becomes the new 5280 champion. And Silver got arrested for misuse of his medical license. And yet he's the bad guy at Season's Beatings. Don't worry, it's all in my notes. The match of the night for Eye of the Storm, gave that to Duff and Eric. Man, you guys ever want to see a clinic, watch these two put on a match. It is amazing. The Wrestler of the Month for April was Billy 5.2. That was an amazing win over Jason Knoll, the longest reigning champion in New Era history. Congratulations, Billy. Once again, congratulations, Jason Knoll. Unfortunately, after this, Jason Knoll did go back to pandering to the fans. May the 14th be with you. Guys, I got to highlight the opening of the show because I just thought that was amazing. I loved how that went. Kincaid came out. He apologized to Junsu for everything that he had put him through, wants to tag with him again. And Junsu says, I want another shot at that belt. Our last fight for that belt didn't really end fairly. I'd like another shot. Before Kincaid can respond, Jason Knoll comes out. He reminds everyone that he holds the record for the longest title reign in New Era, which now you've made me talk about 3 times. Delta comes out and says he deserves a shot as well, which is true. He really does. Kincaid offers to kick all 3 asses and says to make it a fatal 4-way. Now, one thing I would like to point out at this point. Bruce Rogers was also still owed a title match. I have talked extensively about who was owed a title match and why. Later in the year, Bruce Rogers will get his chance. Tonight is Delta's turn. Mac was live streaming the match with Cody, Logan, Bruce Wayans, and the Rocky Mountain Dragon, Ataba. And I got to tell you, I saw some of that stream. It was pretty good. I was there live, and the match was great. Cody and Logan retained. The fatal 4-way. Delta went out early with an injury. He's back now. He's fine, guys. Don't worry about it. Kincaid and Junsu were working like a tag team against Jason Knoll, but this is a title shot. It's every man for himself, guys. I love the Night Terrors together. Don't get me wrong. But this is an every man for himself type of thing. In the end, Kincaid did pin Knoll for the win. Morales asked who was left to challenge the champ. Hunter walked out. Kincaid offers to take Hunter out for breakfast. Titan then hits Kincaid from behind. Junsu with the save. Tag team match set for Hot Summer Night in June. In May, I named Kincaid your Wrestler of the Month, and the Fatal 4-Way for the New Era Championship was your match of the night. Hot Summer Night, Nate insulted the leader of the Mafia. How rude. Don't think I'm going to forget that next time we're sitting next to each other at that table either, Nate. Called him the mullet of wrestling. Listen, you wish you could be half as fashionable as our boy Morales, all right? Nobody could rock that suit top, shorts bottom combo like he did. Pillars came out, opened the show, supposed to be in the main event. They realized this. They talked about that. They said that they wait for no one. They want to open the show. So, Pillars, Night Terrors, this is a brutal match, guys. Even Morales got licked during this match, and he wasn't even involved in it. They fought outside the ring for a bit, but when they finally got in, Kincaid ended up reversing into a roll-up for the win. There was sportsmanship, handshakes all around. You guys are what sports are all about. You know, you went in hot, you put it on the line, and then you shook hands at the end. That's true sportsmanship. Wrestling's not as much of a sport as you guys think it is. Noel did come out, apologize for his behavior. There you go, back to pandering to the fans, Noel. Powers gave him a match against Matty. Let's come back. We're going to be talking. The tourney for the number one contender came down to Duff versus Lipto and Jason Knoll versus Grimm. Your match of the night for Hot Summer Night, I did name that to Pillars and Night Terrors because it was phenomenal. And yes, the showmanship, the fans loved that. I thought it was a great show. Your Wrestler of the Month was Duff Doyle. Guys, I was not at the July show. I don't have a Wrestler of the Month. I don't have a match of the night. What I do have is a highlight for July. I was at Comic Palooza. I actually got to watch Titan wrestle while I was down there because there was a wrestling show on Friday night to kick off Comic Palooza, and Titan was involved in that. So what I will say is Titan put on one hell of a match down at Comic Palooza. I'm going to give him Match of the Night and Wrestler of the Month just because that's where I was at. All right, guys, up next we have August 11th anniversary show. Guys, let's talk about the workers first before we even get into the show. Every year at the anniversary show, you guys bring it. You guys come out on top of your game. You guys up the previous year. I look forward to what you guys do this year for the 12th anniversary show, but I was pleased to say that I was in the audience for the anniversary show this year. You guys did phenomenal. Reddick defeated Logan, said he was here at the request of Mac and Cody to show Logan he's too nice of a guy. Jason Knoll defeats Methuselah. Hey, you may be pandering to the crowd, but something seems to be working because you defeated Methuselah. Oh, wait, he's old. Jules hit the Eddie finish on Tyra. Guys, this is one of my favorite finishes to a match at New Era. Eddie Guerrero was one of my favorites. His final match was probably, in my opinion, the best ending to a Eddie Guerrero match ever. It was phenomenal. It was duplicated the following week in honor of him. And Jules pulled that off against Tyra at the 11th anniversary show. She distracted Skylar with a turnbuckle. She handed Tyra the chair. She went down. Tyra got DQ'd. Guys, high praise. That she pulled that off very well. We get the verdict of Dr. Silver. This is how he was able to be named naughty 4 seasons beatings. Verdict was rejected by a suspicious-looking judge who pulled his mask off and it turned out to be Caleb Crush. I didn't see that coming. I've known Caleb Crush a long time. I did not expect this. He puts the prosecutor through the table. Morales rushes in, tries to make the save. He ends up taking a vicious chair shot, and he's out for the rest of the night. But Caleb Crush isn't done. He's setting up chairs in what remains of the podium in the middle of the ring. Thankfully, Noel makes the save on our leader, Morales. Morales was busted open pretty bad in that chair shot, and Brother Ralph took over on commentary for the rest of the night. We had an 8-person tag match. And guys, I'm telling you, the anniversary show was stacked. I have so many notes here to talk about for the highlights. This was a big show. We had an 8-person tag match. It was the Dungeon versus Heidi's Horde of Handsome Hunks. Heidi, did I get that right? I think that's what you called yourselves. It was Daddy, Adrian, Graham, Maddie, and Jacob Thorne taking on Heidi, Lipto, Bruce, and Junsu. This was Team Daddy versus Team Mobby. And Junsu got pinned by Grim. Oh, powers. I'd like to say you let the only people worse than you take over for a show. But because you agreed to this, for the record, not because Heidi's team fell short, because they fought. They really did. But then you turned around and let somebody worse than you take over in December again. Your track record's not looking too good. But we'll get back to you. So for September, we're going to see the Dungeon in charge, but it's still August. Let's stick on the anniversary show for now. Cody versus Billy for the 5280 champion. Cody took the belt. Part of the reason I bring this up is not just because, the title changed hands and went to Cody, but we also need to talk about the fact that I cannot say the following phrase very often, but I could for this match. Cody had a size advantage. I mean, I know he did that whole 7-foot gimmick for a while there, but Cody with a size advantage. How often do you see that? Lucha Dogs took on Sin Ryzen. Ryzen got the pin. Hail Ryzen. Jason, we miss you guys. Get back out here soon. Duff Kincaid for the New Era Championship, because Duff did win that tournament while I was at Comic Palooza. So that was a highlight that I didn't have because I didn't really have the notes for that because I wasn't there. So Kincaid retained after Duff got counted out. Your match of the night for the 11th anniversary show, and believe me, this was difficult. It really was. I had to sit there and think about this for quite a while because there wasn't really a bad match on that card. Cody versus Billy for the 5280 championship was your match of the night. And I broke tradition. I did something that we never did on Ralph and the Big Guy. I haven't done it on my own review show until the 11th anniversary show. I did not name a wrestler as the wrestler of the month. I gave that honor to the fans for making the 11th anniversary show standing room only and keeping it loud all night. You guys should give yourselves a round of applause for that. All right, up next, we're going to talk about September. Revenge was the name of the show, but guys, we were doing this as a charity show for the Chelsea Hutchinson Foundation, and I got to tell you guys, you really warmed my heart. You came out, you donated. It was amazing. And I know Chelsea Hutchinson thanks you. I know Miss Stacy thanks you. I thank you. You guys did great. Thank you very much. Scumbag hired a mercenary, not just any mercenary though, the mercenary Kevin Price, to have his back. And if I was mercenary, I hope he got the money up front because it's Maddie, and I know where he got those sunglasses. There's no way he had the money to pay the mercenary unless he borrowed it and paid it up front. But now you're going to have to run from whoever you owe that debt to. Scumbag, you got to learn who you run your mouth to. Scumbag decided to run his mouth to the mercenary after the match. And mercenary put him on the ground like he owed him money, because he probably did. And so, yeah, Maddie, we're going to have a chat about running your mouth to the wrong people, because it seems like it's not getting to you with the physical stuff. Although, I don't know why I want to have that chat, because you're entertaining all of us. Junsu and Grimm tore it up in their first one-on-one meeting, but by the end, Crow came out, shifted the tide, helped Grimm win. I got to address the fact that Mac told me to get off my phone during the 5280 triple threat. I mean, yes, you're right. I should be paying more attention to the match, but I take notes so that I can praise your management skills. You are one of the number one managers out there. In fact, I would name you number one manager in Colorado. And if I don't take notes to praise your manager skills, who's going to praise your manager skills? You know, because obviously Nate's not going to do it. He keeps calling you a McDonald's value menu item. Because of your skills as a manager, that's I believe that's why Cody was able to retain against two tough opponents. Caleb Crush is narcissistic, according to Silver, which I've known Crush for a while, guys. He's a little narcissistic, but that's never been a bad thing until now. And I didn't even need Dr. Silver's fancy degrees to know that. Tyra versus Heidi is one of the best women's matches of the year. If you didn't see that, I'm sorry, you should have. Main event was Sen Bodhi versus Joey Kincaid. Guys, I tell you all year, you got to see this next show. And I tell you all year, you missed a great show. But seeing Sen Bodhi work Kincaid's knee, it was like a thing of magic. And Nate kept calling it out and being like, it's weird that he's going after that knee. Nate, no. When you get in that ring, you find a weak spot, you target it. And you know what? I give Sen Bodhi props on that because Kincaid put a target on that knee. And he knows the risks, but he still put that target on there. Bodhi only did what a good wrestler should. In the end, though, Kincaid retained. Your match of the night, Tyra versus Heidi. Again, one of the best women's matches I've seen in a while. And your wrestler of the month was Kincaid. Guys, we got 3 shows left of the year. Looks like we're at Fight Fest October. This was a decent show, guys. I mean, this was no 11th anniversary show, but damn, there was some good stuff going on here. Lipto versus Bruce Rogers to settle their heat after that triple threat match, because they did get into it after that triple threat match with Cody Devine at Revenge. You had a weird tag title match. Jason Knoll teamed up with Hunter Gray to take on Black Ops. Guys, I may not have a lot of love for Methuselah, but these guys are dominant. Jason Knoll thought he could just throw himself in with the Barbarian and win this. Adrian Grimm and Jun Soo in their second one-on-one meeting, they were in a coffin match. This was a heated match from top to bottom, beginning to end. In the end, Jun Soo did get the win. Had a costume contest with Cheap Taskmaster. Yeah, I'm calling you out again, Powers. Actually, guys, hold on. Most of the time when I call Powers out, it's earned. But he actually put some effort into his costume this time. So I'll say good job to you there. Maddie wanted a match. Demanded it right after the costume contest. So Maddie got to take on Billy 5.2. And he won via cheating against Billy 5.2. It was an undeserved victory. The leader of the Mafia took on Caleb Crush with Dr. Silver out there. Tony Morales won that match. Silver reprimanded him and then told Morales that he'll have someone special for him next month. Morales asks what's in it for him. Dr. Silver says if Morales wins, Silver will step in the ring for 5 minutes immediately following the match. All right. Now I'm looking forward to Bird Brawl. I don't know about the rest of you. Main event of the night was Logan versus Kincaid for the New Era Heavyweight Championship. All right, guys, this is going to take a minute. We have to talk about this main event. We have to talk about what happened after this main event. Guys, this was a good fight back and forth. Both men put their all into it. In the end, Logan went over. Logan came up the better man in this fight, and that happens sometimes. Kincaid knew that risk when he stepped into the ring. He knows that with every opponent he gets in there with. Logan cut an amazing promo after, and then Kincaid made an announcement that would alter the direction of things going forward. Fight Fest was Kincaid's last show with New Era. I've known Kincaid a very long time. As I covered in the Fight Fest review, we go way, way back. By the way, if you didn't watch the Fight Fest review, I learned that night that Joey A. Kincaid, the A stands for Alistair. I never knew that. We've had our ups and downs, but at the end of the day, Kincaid was probably one of the more entertaining people I ever knew in that ring. Between his fish hooks, his Night Terrors bit with Junsu. I'm happy for him, but it was a sad day hearing that he was retiring. Best of luck in your future endeavors, and don't let retirement drive you too crazy, Kincaid. Hopefully we'll see you back soon. Not necessarily in the ring, but, making your presence known at a show. Come out, take my chair at commentary one night. I'm okay with that. Your match of the night was Lipto and Bruce Rogers because they made me feel the match. They made me feel their heat, their beef. It was a great, great match. Your Wrestler of the Month, Logan, for winning the New Era Wrestling Championship. That brings us to Bird Brawl, which is one of my favorite shows of the year, guys. And it has nothing to do with the wrestling on the card, which is great. Bird Brawl is about feeding Denver's hungry for me. It always will be. And again, you guys showed up. You brought the canned goods. Thank you. New Era appreciates it. Feeding Denver's hungry appreciates it. You guys did a good thing. We had some great matches on this card, including Adrian Grimm, Killian Crow taking on Black Ops. Black Ops retained. Bruce Rogers versus Billy 5-2 versus Duff Doyle. Guys, I compared this to the kids' table at Thanksgiving. Because you have the one person that belongs at this one person that belongs at the adult table, but keeps getting shoved at that kids' table. Every time he tries to get in there at that adult table, his big brothers just knock him back down. That was Billy in this match. Billy did not come out on top in this match, but damn, you could see why this kid belonged in it, because he threw his all into this, quite literally. In the end, Bruce Rogers won this match. Bruce is finally going to get his title shot that I have been pushing for I don't know how long. And he asked Duff and Billy to have his back, considering you're going to have Logan out there with the hard way. All three men shake hands. An agreement is made. We're going to talk about Maddie again. Maddie comes out believing Stephen Powers has it out for him. Powers comes out and says he actually likes him. And in fact, he has a match for him tonight. Monster Zero has returned to New Era Wrestling, guys. This man has made his presence felt. He returned at Fight Fest and took on Cody Devine. But guys, Monster Zero, he's back. Were I a lesser man, I'd have felt bad for Maddie. No, wait, if I was a bigger man, I'd feel bad for Maddie, but he got himself in this situation. Dorian just totally laid him out. Jason Knoll and Hunter Gray came out early in the show for a match and then vanished. And then they came back out during this match saying that they weren't done yet. Dorian Maddox chokeslammed both of them before he, right after getting his hand raised. Up next, Dr. Silver brings in Johnny Proof to take on Morales. Proof says he is going to put a stop to Tony Morales, and if he loses, he will never set foot in a New Era ring again. And many of you saw what I said to Johnny Proof. I would like to now state, after seeing how that match ended, if there's anything I can do to help you get back in New Era in the future, throwing Silver in that ring after Morales beat you, you earned my respect. Morales is standing in the ring. Silver's in there. Morales said, "Oh, did you think it was going to be me that put my hands on you?" Alexis Vane, our queen, made her return at this show. It was so good to see you. She got in the ring. She beat down Dr. Silver. Oh, I couldn't imagine what Silver had in store for us next. You're going to find out here in a minute, though. Junsu versus Logan for the New Era Championship closed out this show. Logan ended up winning. The Hard Way attacked Junsu after the match, but Duff, Billy, and Bruce made the save. Rogers hit his finish on the crowd, sending the crowd home happy. Your match of the night, I gave that to Bruce, Duff, and Billy because you guys were amazing. It's everything I expected that match to be. And the wrestler of the night, I'm giving this to Morales, but as a side note, I think we all feel that Alexis Vane deserves a nod for what she did. Guys, that's going to bring us to season's beatings. Now, before I get into this, yes, there is bad news, but as of last night, there is also good news to follow it up. There's also the fact that card was subject to change. I tell you this all the time. We'll get to that match. But let's talk about season's beatings. Our last show at Mile High Comics. Stephen Powers comes out, welcomes everybody to the show, asks that the entire roster come down to the ringside area, and he informs everybody that there's been a change in management and there's a new owner of New Era Wrestling. And then he introduced the new owner. And you guys wonder why Dr. Silver's on the naughty list. Dr. Silver's the new owner of New Era Wrestling. He is tired of being embarrassed. Have you considered maybe you bring that embarrassment on yourself? He tells the audience that tonight will be the last show at Mile High Comics, and the company is going on hiatus until he sees fit. Naughty. Naughty. The fans are going to see his version of New Era Wrestling. Powers cut him off. Told him that of all the people he's had to work with over the years, Dr. Silver is by far the worst. And if Dr. Silver's in charge, Stephen Powers quits. I'm so torn by that, guys. I have been on Powers' case for a long time. Who am I going to blame corruption on now? Oh, yeah, Dr. Silver. Guys, we opened the show with Austin Reddick taking on Lipto. This was a great match, the last bar fighter, Papa Lipto. These guys are amazing. Lipto got the win. Junsu versus Dorian Maddox. Guys, I wish you could have been there to feel the shockwave when these guys hit the ring. These big men, the wind alone from when they collided with each other was dangerous. In the end, this was no contest. These guys they both could not answer the 10 count. It was a great match. Pillars of Destiny versus Adrian Grimm and Killian Crow versus Duff Doyle and Billy 5.2 versus Black Ops. Now, this is the Fatal 4-Way for the tag titles, and I know what was announced. Now, first, let me just state, Jason couldn't make it. I'm glad everybody's feeling better now. Jason, we missed you guys. We'll see you again soon. Jason Knoll's partner also couldn't make it. We're going to leave it at that. So Jason Knoll got moved to a different match. And we got Pillars, Adrian Grimm, Killian Crow, Duff Doyle, Billy 5.2, and Black Ops. Your winners and new tag team champions are Duff Doyle and Billy 5.2. Damn. After the match, Eric turned on Damian, left him laying in the ring, and explained that he did Black Ops one more time because his friend asked him to. And yet, here we are now, no longer the champions. It's time for Eric to focus on what he came for. He wants singles gold again. I support your quest, Eric, 100%. And this brings me to my next point. If Damian Payne's closest ally one of his best friends, his tag team partner in Black Ops, one half of the now former tag team champions, is going to walk away from him and leave him laying in the middle of the ring. 2023 is my year. Damian, I'm waiting for it to happen. Hell, maybe I'll make a couple phone calls and see if I can help it along. For right now, let's finish Season's Beatings. Cody Devine requested this match, requested Mac Daddy Duds out from the East Coast. Mac Daddy Duds came out. Unfortunately, Cody Devine suffered an injury early on in the match. He still ended up working this match, but guys, he was injured. We didn't really get the full impact of this match. I truly believe we will see this match take place at a later date once Cody is healed. Up next, Jason Knoll in the match that he got moved to, along with Rob Risen, because Rob Risen's partner couldn't make it either. Jason Knoll versus Risen. Hail Risen. Risen gets the win. We had Heidi Howitzer finally get her hands on Daddy Doom. Merry Christmas to all of us. Guys, this was a great match. Daddy did convince Dr. Silver to let her pick a special referee for the match. And who did she pick? The scumbag himself, Matty Scrumptious. All right, no problem. Matty's going to come out. He's going to try and stack the deck in Daddy's favor. But, damn, you just couldn't stay out of the way, could you, Matty? You ended up getting yourself knocked down, knocked out. So when Heidi went for the pin, she just grabbed your hand, counted it herself. 1, 2, 3, Heidi is your winner. Up next, we have our main event of the evening. Bruce Rogers. I've done that twice now. Bruce Rogers versus Logan with Big Deal Mac Battle for the New Era Championship. Guys, I have always pushed that Bruce Rogers deserves this rematch, and he was out there showing why. Unfortunately, in the end, it was difficult to overcome the numbers game, and Austin Reddick came out, helped Logan retain, and then Billy and Duff came out and got Bruce's back. So you had all 6 men staring each other down. I don't know what this brings us for the future, but hopefully we're going to find out soon. We'll talk about where we go from here in just a moment, considering at the start of Season's Beatings, Dr. Silver said that we wouldn't have another show until he decided it was time. But let me talk about the wrestler and the match of the night, and then we'll talk about where we go from here. For Season's Beatings, I have named Junsu and Dorian co-holders of the match of the night due to the fact that these guys laid a hurting on each other. And your wrestler of the month is Eric Angel. Now, Eric did not win the match, but one could argue that when you are the one standing tall after the match, that is a victory. And after the match, he stood tall over Damian Payne. Therefore, Eric is your wrestler of the month. Now, guys, where do we go from here? Dr. Silver has put us on hiatus. Well, just last night, it was announced on Facebook that apparently Dr. Silver's decided that we can do shows again starting in March. Therefore, March 11th, we will be at the Castle Event Center in Thornton. If you have never seen this place, it is beautiful. Guys, I think that about does it for me on this. I hope you enjoyed the year in review, Season's Beatings review, and finding out that Dr. Silver was the naughty one. Oh, I didn't tell you who the nice one was. I told you I'd tell you who was naughty and who was nice. 2022, guys, had a lot of amazing matches, had a lot of amazing work done by the wrestlers. I am going to give Billy 5.2 the Wrestler of the Year due to the fact that he ended Jason Knoll's winning streak. And Match of the Year, guys, this is difficult. I just don't know. I'll tell you what. We had so many good matches this year. I'm going to name Pillars versus Night Terrors the match of the year. That's my final answer. And who's nice? You fans have been great. We look forward to seeing you guys in 2023 at the Castle Event Center over here in Thornton. That'll do it for me. Have a good day.